If your confidence depends on the room, it isn't yours yet. If your chest doesn't settle until someone says, "Oh, okay, I get it," it's not yours yet. If your steadiness rises and falls based on how someone reacts to you, then your confidence is rented, not owned. And rented confidence is fragile. Let's slow this down. Hello and welcome to Thrive Within. I'm your host, Marc Bucksouth, a life coach, educator, and someone who's passionate about helping you live more fully, honestly, and aligned with who you really are. This podcast is your space for real talk and focused coaching on things like confidence, purpose, boundaries, self-doubt, and personal growth. So whether you're going to walk, taking a break, just giving your brain a moment to breathe, I am so glad you're here. Let's get into it. I want you to picture a conversation that matters. Not surface level, not casual, but something important. You say something clearly, not aggressively, not emotionally, just honestly. And immediately you feel it shift. Their face tightens just slightly. The tone changes. Their energy pulls back. And at the exact same time, two thoughts hit. That's not what I meant. And why does this keep happening? That second one is subtle, but it's there. And it's not just about this moment. It's pattern fatigue. And then almost immediately it rolls into, I must not be explaining this clearly enough. Now the pressure turns inward. Your chest tightens. Your breathing gets shallow. Your brain speeds up. You start explaining faster, not because your truth changed, but because the room changed. And once the room changed, your nervous system changed with it. And that's the moment that most people never catch. Frustration isn't ego. Let's get something straight. This isn't about needing to be right. It isn't about dominance. It isn't about winning. It's about intent. You care about being understood accurately. You care about alignment. You care about speaking in the other person's heart's language, the way they receive meaning emotionally. And when it doesn't land, that's frustration. But not ego frustration, precision frustration, because once emotion rises in the other person, receptivity, it drops. And once receptivity drops, repair becomes harder. Now the cost of correction just went up. And you feel it. You think, this could have stayed clean. That's not insecurity. That's someone who values emotional clarity. And when anger enters the room, here's where it gets difficult. It isn't just misunderstanding and the other person stays calm. You don't spiral. You adjust. You try again. But when anger enters, everything changes. Now the nervous system is elevated. Tone sharpens. Interpretation narrows. Receptivity drops further. And inside you, urgency is rising. If I could just find the right words. So you try again. Different angle, different tone, different phrasing. But once emotion is escalated, clarity alone, it isn't enough. Now you're just clarifying meaning. You're managing intensity, and that's exhausting. And that's where the spiral lives. The identity pressure, there's a deeper layer. It's part of your identity. I communicate clearly, then repeatedly misunderstanding doesn't just feel frustrating, it feels personal. You think, I should be better than this. This shouldn't keep happening. I didn't explain that well enough. Now you're not just fixing a message, you're defending your standard. That adds pressure, and pressure fuels urgency, and urgency makes you speak faster, and speaking faster makes it worse. That's the spiral. Now, here's the hard truth. Even if your intentions are good, even if your care is real, even if your communication is clean, if your nervous system cannot settle until the other person aligns with you, your confidence depends on the room. That's room-dependent stability. It's subtle, but it's powerful because it means your internal steadiness is externally controlled. And if it's externally controlled, it's fragile. We've been trained to track reaction. You post something. You check engagement. You say something. You scan facial expressions. You share a thought. You watch for approval. Up, down, up, down. Your nervous system starts regulating off of feedback. So when feedback shifts, your internal state shifts. But that's volatile, not confidence. Confidence doesn't spike with applause and drop with tension. Confidence stays grounded. Take this into a professional setting. You're in a meeting. You present an idea. Someone pushes back immediately. If your confidence depends on the room, you soften. Well, that's just a thought. I'm open. Maybe. Even if your idea is solid. But if your steadiness doesn't depend on reaction, you say, that's fair. Let me explain the reasoning. Calm, measured, grounded. Same intelligence, different nervous system, and the difference changes how people experience you. Steadiness builds respect, not volume, not dominance, steadiness. There's something else here. A lot of people confuse defensiveness with strength. Raising your voice isn't strength. Explaining harder isn't strength. Dominating the conversation is not strength. Regulation is strength. Being able to feel the spike and not let it speak first, that's strength. That's control. That's confidence that belongs to you. Real confidence isn't agreement. It isn't applause. It isn't immediate understanding. Real confidence is speaking clearly, pausing, staying steady. Even when alignment hasn't happened yet, it's saying, that's not what I meant, and letting the silence exist. It's saying, I care about how that landed. I'm not stacking 5 more sentences. It's allowing misunderstanding to breathe without collapsing. That's ownership. That's self-trust. The old pattern, room shifts, chest tightens, you explain. You over-explain. You chase alignment. You relax only when they align. Here's the new pattern. The room shifts. The chest tightens. You notice it. You breathe. You speak once. You pause. You stay steady. If alignment comes, great. If it doesn't immediately, you're still grounded because your steadiness isn't rented anymore. If your confidence depends on the room, it isn't yours yet. But when you build self-trust internally, the room loses its power over your stability. You stop performing confidence. You stop chasing validation. You stop rushing repair, and you start owning yourself. That is centered identity. And that's where real confidence begins. I'll see you next time.